Peace, peace, peace. It is your girl Sunshine, and this is Shine Vibrations. So, I'm just going to get right into it because this is someone I have been hinting at for the year that I have had my podcast so far. But first, I want to share two clips. The first clip is going to be from my people's Born King and T Walker with live alkaline water, and they have a promotion going on and a health service announcement. So let's check this out.
Peace and love, family. Check it out. It's the We Are the Gold campaign. The We Are the Gold campaign is all about highlighting ourselves as the wealth, value, and solutions we've been looking for. We are the gold. Before it comes to the money, your health is the wealth. Tap into intentional lifestyle decisions, making sure you're putting living local foods, preferably, especially organic, into your well-being, your temple, And you already know you got to couple that with the live alkaline water, the best hydration in the nation, natural alkaline spring water straight from the source, no artificial induced processing. And the other side of the We Are the Gold campaign is activating our economics, So tap into the We Are the Gold campaign. Get your $20 monthly subscription special at heavyenergyuniversity.com.
Yeah, those my bros. They're really out here doing it for the people. So now this next clip, before I go into it, y'all hear me reference this brother in the numerous previous interviews. Josephus Thompson III. I moved to Greensboro, North Carolina in December of 2009, and a very good friend of the family and cousin spoke to me. Was I still writing? And I had just started to come out of a depression of losing my daughter who was killed on the highway. And part of the moving to North Carolina was the healing process. So Josephus was a name I already heard buzzing around the city. And when different people found out that I was interested in poetry, his name always popped up. So my cousin ended up taking me to Josephus in the park. It was poetry in the park. Before they did LaBauer Park over how it looks right now, I'm talking about 2010 downtown Greensboro, LaBauer Park. And a lot of the artists that I am good friends with now, my first time seeing them was also because of Josephus. Once we got reconnected and they was like, no, wait. I said, no, wait, poetry in the park. Yes, Josephus, that's when I first saw you. So, he has been somewhat of the glue to how I became a part of the Greensboro arts community. Going to his event really unlocked a writer's block that I was experiencing after losing my daughter. So I always reference him and I always thank him because part of what he does for the community is what got me to this right now, having my own platform. So just to give you a little bit, because this brother has been, when I say everywhere, he's a spoken word artist that performs everywhere. He's an activist, a teacher, and he's also a author. He was recently honored as Greensboro's first ever, I believe, poet laureate. So, that is one great accomplishment. He's already going to be in the history books for that. He is definitely a trailblazer. He has performed and shared stages with people like Oprah, nationally renowned entertainers like Kanye West, my girls Flowetry, and the Last Poets. He's also a graduate of North Carolina A&T University, so you already know the famous saying, Aggie Pride. I have a cousin that is, so I'm only affiliated by family association, but a lot of my family members and people that I have been able to become family with, they are all Aggies. And Josephus really, really has a heart for the community and the kids. One thing I know, he has done a lot of things, assisting our youth and tapping into the things that they never knew that they could accomplish. I've heard a lot of youth reference this brother as far as them being able to finally deal with their emotions that they weren't taught at home because they took the time to listen to him and learn that they could write and get their emotions out in a way that wouldn't cause any harm to them. So, just to give y'all a little snippet of Josephus and his talent, check this out. I've been moving closer to my destiny. Passing way along and laying down unity. My heart, my love, shine bright like my community. My heart, my love, burning light for all the world to see. I've been moving closer to my destiny. Passion laid out for all the world to see. My love, shine bright for my community. My heart, my love, burning light for all you to see.
So every single time I pick up a pen, just a pen, I put my life on the line. Pieces of my story come together like.
So, without further ado, because I know that wasn't right, just that little snippet, let's bring out my brother Josephus. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, I waited for the opportune time. I said, I know he is busy. I've been trying to keep track because, life be lifing for all of us.
No doubt.
And I said, wait, before the end of this year, I gotta get them, and it was dope. I love it that all of my past guests, including you, are being receptive because this is just another way for me and us to shine. So if I could do anything to help my people, I'm always down for that. Anyway, that's the activist in me. So
I appreciate it.
yes. So for those who don't know, tell the people what you want them to know about you, what you feel is important.
Well, my name is Josephus. I am a father and a husband. That's a huge part of my life these days. But I am a poet, a dreamer, a visionary, and I just love using my art and the platform to build community.
Okay, so has there been an outside influence, or was it just you starting in the fourth grade? I told you I do my history.
yeah. I think that that all of us have to write at some point in our lives, and I think that getting some small accolades for early on in my life led me to believe that I could do it. And so I continued to write, never thinking it could be a career or anything more than a pastime or a hobby. And then at some point in my life, somebody offered me some money and said, "Hey, how much do you charge to perform?" I had no idea that people got paid to do such a thing,
Exactly.
I did my research. I found out that there was a whole world waiting for performing artists and creative writers to be paid, and I never looked back.
I know that's right. So at what age did you just totally focus on writing?
Oh man, it wasn't until later on in life. I graduated, as you mentioned earlier, from North Carolina A&T State University. So definitely Aggie Pride is in the building. I worked 11 years at UPS. I performed on stages throughout college, and started my company while I was in college, and was doing some work part time. It took me probably about a decade, to really get to the point where I could stand on my own too. I was able to leave, a part-time job and do poetry full-time starting 2010.
Okay.
And that was 15 years ago almost.
So that's right when we met. Like
Yeah.
I moved December 2009 and I came to your event in 2010. Wow, that's dope. That is dope. So yeah, it was I still, as you can see, I still remember that event like it was today. Like I can see the people, the performances, because it's like when they really say your vibe attracts your tribe. Like I remember the performances, and it was just a constant flow, and it wasn't any upsets, any hiccups, and it's just like everybody that was supposed to be there was meant to be there. It made
Yeah.
me remember back home catching the train or the path over into New York, catching
Right.
the the spots out there. So it was like I'm good. It was also a personal thing for me, letting me know like, yeah, I'm gonna be good here. Like, yeah, okay, this is like home away from home. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but how is it being a brother trying to do this for the community? Is it really receptive in the beginning, or is it something that has to grow on people?
Um, so I think you don't try, you just do it, you know. I think this art form for me, it's part of who I am. And so I was doing it before I started getting paid for it, and I'll be doing it, after. And so it's a part of what I do in my daily life. It's a part of who I am. And so I think when you start from that space, it changes your trajectory. It also changes your perspective about what it is you have going on. So it's been a blessing. And every day is a challenge. You always continue to try to refine your craft and find ways to be
Mhm.
more effective, more efficient, more profitable as a business, and grow as an artist. So we are constantly becoming every single day. So it's a journey, but it's a beautiful one.
Indeed. Now some people, uh, as I mentioned with the youth that I've come in contact with that have experience, have been to your workshops or have performed on the stage along with you. Like you had the Poetry Cafe, that was buzzing for so long, and I would hear how people it's just like,
Right.
yo, it's just amazing. It's never the same experience. Is that something that you strive for, or it just happens that way?
I think it's about creating a platform. In the beginning, I think the space was for me. There was no real true space, for poets by poets,
Mm-hmm.
to be creative and to hone their craft. If you play basketball, go to the gym and play pickup on the weekends. If you play frisbee, there's a park for that. Soccer, there's a space for that. But if you're an artist, spoken word, R&B, hip hop, the open mic scene is really where you cut your teeth and hone your craft, where you practice, where you get and engage with the audience, where you meet other artists. And the
Mm-hmm.
Poetry Cafe was designed to be a space where we could grow. We could
Mm-hmm.
showcase our art, and be heard and seen by our peers and by our community. And because of that, artists supported it. Starting in 2009, and now we are getting ready to be a nationally syndicated radio show next year. So, yeah, so it's been a dope
Indeed.
journey.
That is, see, salute. That's what I'm talking about. That is good. I am so proud, and I'm glad that I can witness this, because it's definitely something needed. A lot of us talk about how poetry is therapeutic for us. I
Hmm.
myself, I tell people, even if you're not a poet, just get a pen and a pad and write.
Right.
It'll feel so much better. Has there ever been a time where poetry had to uplift you? Was it like helping you through a healing process?
I think it's just a part of who I am. So I write when I'm bored. I write when I'm excited. I write when I'm sleepy. I write when I'm frustrated. So I'm always
How did
writing.
it work out with you sleeping?
I mean, because sometimes you just be tired and but you can't sleep.
Oh, okay,
You just be
so
tossing
because
and turning. So
you
I
just get
write
up.
something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get
So
it.
I mean, we got our phones now. So you can pull out your phone and open the notes and just jot something down.
You know how
Um,
long it took for me to grab my phone to do that? And guess who had to be the one to tell me? Look at me.
okay.
She said, "Sunshine." She said, "I know we old school, baby." Like she just came right out because she understood my frustration with it. And
Right.
she said, "But you know what? It makes everything so convenient. So if you text, you could go ahead and use them
Yeah.
thumbs, write your poems out, and them notes that's in that phone."
Yeah.
And I looked at her like, "Okay, yes, mama." And now I can't stop. Like sometimes people
Yeah.
think I'm flipping through social media. No, I done had like five things rolling in my head, and I'm taking turns writing which one, and flipping back and forth.
You ain't gotta
So
look for a pen or a pad. We had 5, 6 stacks of notebook. Gotta go find the notebook that you wrote it in.
when I
Like, yeah,
tell you, I just went through a box from like some like 5, 6 years ago when I found that, and the notebooks was there, and I said, "Oh wow!"
yeah.
Like I thought they were lost. There were like four that I did lose in a fire that I obviously I can't get those back, but just finding those from like 2016, like that's gonna be fun to go back and read over. But and I like that. That's the thing that I like about the paper and the pen. As long as you can keep hold to it, you can always go back to it. But these phones is temperamental. Even these storages and these iClouds, all that stuff could crash at any time. So I try to have everything backed up on paper anyway. I'm still old school.
Okay, I hear you.
And plus, it also helps with memorization when I have to get
Yes,
to that point. So I'm going to write it out anyway and listen to it. So,
that was a good habit to have.
yeah. So, and I've done that with everything becoming an EMT, becoming a dialysis tech, like studying for them exams. I'm writing everything out by hand. So, it's really a good habit. And I'll probably have carpal tunnel real bad soon, but it was worth it. It got me here. Um, what in the places that you have seen where you have performed, then you go to Australia
I did. Got a chance to spend 30 days in Australia, traveling the country, performing and meeting people. It was dope.
and then you went to, was it Seoul?
Yep, got a chance to do some work in Seoul, Korea. Last summer, summer before last, right after COVID, I got a chance to go to Kuala Lumpur, which was really dope. And work with some youth there, and in Malaysia, that was a beautiful experience. And also the Philippines. So yeah,
Okay.
it's been great.
So Seoul, Malaysia, the Philippines, Australia, and Africa as well.
Yep, I was in South Africa 2001. Yeah, so yeah, man,
So
constantly making these
be,
trips.
being in those places, what was obviously poetry was the common denominator, but was there anything collectively that you experienced from all of those places?
Community, community. Conversation is such a huge thing for human beings. Period. To learn how to communicate, understand one another. So when you're in a foreign country, meeting new people, and being able to connect and collab through art, it just opens up a whole new world. So yeah, it's always a conduit to begin the conversation, because the poem is just the beginning, of the
That's right.
conversation, of the idea, the spark, and to attract. But the real work happens off the stage.
That's right. That's right. So, what was the best place you've been so far?
And South Africa by far, my first time being on the continent was just uh, it was life changing. You know, you hear about it, you see it on TV, but to see it for yourself is just something different. The air smells different, the food tastes different. Um, the people to be in a space where you don't see no white people, for days on end,
Yeah.
uh, just changes your life, to be there on the soil, to see the high rises and the beach and the beauty of the continent, hear the language. In South Africa, there are like 17, 18 official languages. So
Yeah.
just for a person to be able to speak 5 languages at bare minimum on a daily basis, you know, um, just shatters what they say about our people.
Indeed. Indeed. Like anyone that takes the time to do the real history, they'll find out. But as the griots,
Yeah,
one thing I like about the spoken word artists is that there are times where we reference all the things that's needed. So even if people aren't on it, they get a spark. It gets left, and we plant the seeds, and then somebody else comes and waters it. So as the
yeah,
griots, that's the charge that we have, and keeping people connected. Being in South Africa, the experience, feeling it for yourself. Have you thought about moving?
definitely, definitely. So next year for 24, so 25. I'm looking at being able to purchase some land and a home in South Africa. And so, my legacy and my family can come and go as they please. You know,
Indeed, indeed.
so
I
that's
have.
been on my bucket list for a long time to make sure that
That's
I
good.
have enough, funds to make that happen for my family.
Yeah, I had reached out to my cousin because on Instagram I saw where they said Kenya was having open visas, and
Yep.
my cousin he's a performer as well. He musician. He'll live over there in South Africa for 6 months, come back and forth,
Right.
and he ended up marrying my beautiful cousin-in-law, who happens to share the same name Azalea as one of our great aunts, and they're back and forth between there and here and Ethiopia and stuff. So we recently got to see them again, and the experience just listening to him, and he always say, "Yeah, go, cuz if you get the opportunity to go," he's like,
Yeah.
"Go, make sure you take them boys with you." So they definitely want to go. So my cousin told them to take time, research where they want to go, and then we'll link with them, and then we'll figure it out from there. So that's definitely been on mine since I was a child.
Yeah.
That's one of those
It's a must
things.
do. It's a
Yeah.
must do. You must to the continent.
Indeed, Jamaica, yes, 3 times was cool,
Ah,
I mean, because it was sort of kind of like the same feeling there too, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Besides the tourists, that's if you went down into the villages and different
Mhm.
parts, you only seen us, and that was beautiful. The way that they treated and took me around, and the way that they like everybody talk about how they be trying to hustle out your money. Nah, I had people giving me stuff more than me spending.
Right.
And
Right. There are definitely several myths that you will get a chance to see the truth of.
exactly. I think a lot of that is just trying to deter people, or for those who can't go, don't want nobody else to go. But
Yeah.
and then of course anything to keep us disconnected from those who are like us, and
Yeah.
we
That part.
that part. But
That part.
we're gonna knock those barriers down, and we're gonna continue to do that in whichever shape, well, form of fashion, because it is being televised every day now. So hopefully there will be the torch to leave behind for those to keep it going. You are definitely a trailblazer, like I mentioned before, in doing so. And Trey, I know Trey when I first moved to Greensboro,
Okay.
and to see him now, the father, the husband, and to where he is, creating his own slam team and having his own workshops and his open mics. I think I've known Trey since he was like 12. So
Wow.
it was like, wow. And then the poem that he does about his grandmother, that
Right.
one hits me because we got our, like, me and his mom and his dad got like real close.
Right.
So they, like, when I first got to Greensboro and was getting acclimated, like they were one of the families that like kind of like really took me up under their wing. Be like, look, you good here, things like that. If I needed help with, like, especially it was hard getting a job right away when I first got there. It's like
Yeah.
nobody wanted to hire me because I came from New Jersey. It was like I was getting paid too much, and what I was asking for wasn't,
Right.
what they was willing to give up at the time. But they was dope, and to see him now, and also you're a part of that growth, So
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Trey was part of the very first slam team in 2012. Yeah. That we started.
mhm.
So yeah, he's been around since he was probably 16. So he's a grown man now.
Yeah, he is amazing. You have really opened the doors, and kind of like assisted in catapulting people in their path, and that's gotta be a dope feeling. Like most people do it because they want to shine for it, but when you doing it from the heart, it's different. Like you don't have to, put it out there. Because I, for one, have never seen you do that. Hey, that's my experience. You feel me?
Yeah.
People
I
get
don't
on,
have time.
yeah,
I'm working on the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
social media, be mad because people don't support them the way they should. But it's like, if
Right.
people, my take is, if they was with you during the trenches, you got to where they might didn't think you got,
Right.
and you got to where they thought you would. But it's for the people who don't know you that's supposed to get to know you and help push you out further. Like just looking for those around you, you're gonna stay right there. You're not gonna go further.
Yeah.
But you know, I just show love, period. Because my thing is, if you're doing something, especially if I like it, I'm sharing it. It costs you nothing to share it. It costs nothing to hit a like and keep it pushing. And if you don't get them, still, I don't. It's you're opening doorways. You know, it might be that stranger that you don't know have the key to everything that you thought you could get. Staying and looking over here to the left.
Yeah, it's always a stranger that you don't know.
And then and then sometimes they end up becoming family.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how the platform started. You know, shout out to Carla Simpson, Crazy Carla. I love her. That's like my big sis. But you know, she had me on her podcast, and the producer was like, "Yo, you got some poetry. I like that. We don't have that on our platform. Did you ever want a podcast?" That's one of the things I said I wanted to do was figure this out when I got to North Carolina back in 2009. So here
Right.
it is, you know, a year in. It takes time. People be trying to rush their goals, but you know, it takes time. It's all going to come. It's about patience.
I agree.
So, what out of all the performances that you have done,
Mm-hmm.
is there one that was might have been the hardest or just stuck out the most for you?
The hardest performance I ever had to do? Oh man. So we used to do these Black History Month shows. Um, and Trey was a part of a lot of them for a lot of years. And we would have a 13-person cast, you know, so poets, dancers, musicians. We create every poem, every scene from scratch. Every year would be a different theme surrounding Black excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And we would always have, you know, 5 scenes slated, you know, for the performance. Um, we would never get to 5. We'd always finish 4, and the 5th one would be rough around the edges, you know.
Rough around that.
So we'd always end up with 4 dope scenes, you know. And for me, having to produce, to host, to schedule performances and rehearsals, and get the band together and manage schedules, I never got a chance to really rehearse, you know, as much as I should have, which is I needed to as an artist myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so I always find myself winging it through, you know, performances as an artist because I was so in tune with making sure everybody else's performance was going to be. And
Yes.
so I would say those shows were really hard for me because I didn't get a chance to do the best that I know I could, you know, as an artist. I think it was as dope as a producer of a show, you know, to have a 10-year run doing Black History Month shows, to support, like you said, 50 different artists every year, and to make a name for myself. But as an artist myself, I struggle with not being able to give it 100%. You know, I feel like I was
Mhm.
always at 85, 90 as an artist.
Well, you
Where
know,
everybody else is at,
we're always our worst critics anyway. So
yeah. It was really hard because every year I knew that I was gonna have to give up some of my artistry in order to make sure that the show happened. I knew that
mm,
going in, but it was hard, you know, to not want to take more time for myself versus working with somebody else on their scene or their poem, you know. So
mhm.
coaching and mentoring and guiding other people definitely takes a toll on your personal
Yes,
artistic craft.
yes, that's some heavy work there.
Yeah.
Um, and now that was the hardest. So, what's the most memorable so far?
Man, now you know I have a daughter, you know, so you know, with those same poetry in the park events that we do June, July, and August in LeBauer, the new LeBauer now, you know, she comes out to those shows, and you know she makes sure she's right in my arms as I'm hosting the show, and so having her with me on stage, you know, repeating after me or singing a song with me, has just been uh, a real true light and gift to, you know, to have this little person that I made in my arms as I continue to push forward with my passion, my gift, and have her see me in that light. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, so that's gonna prepare her. I already know she gonna be a beast on the mic doing something. She might be a triple or a quadruple threat messing with you.
Yeah, she's a dancer right now, but she's definitely got some
Look, right now. Yeah,
work.
I like
Yeah,
that. You heard that right now.
yeah.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna break. That was a good segue too, because Yamasani is another brother who is like he's serious about family. So I think him being the artist of the week was also divine timing. So here we have with Yamasani with War Room.
Know your history, no herstory, all the lies and the perjury, the despising the first degree murdering, all the journaling, under the guise of furthering a country so disturbing. Its word is not worth a Burger King sandwich or merch for purchasing. Pain and hurt is resurfacing, hanging, choking and gurgling. Slave behavior of worshipping slave owners that purposely raped us all perversely. Tear jerking is urgent, the serpent lurks in a person with no emotion or nurturing traits. Only through conversing can we help reverse all this hate. All human shades engage the universal debate. Inside we all the same color, matching curtains to drapes. And for certain we're great. You might be nervous to shake my hand or give me a hug, but that's perfect. Let's take this heavy project slow to properly interpret the weight. I'm serious, this ain't no joke, throwing dessert in your face. No matter your temple, your mosque, or your church, or your faith. Admit what your elders did was a sin. Publicly and on the couch while you sit with your kids. And now you're supposed to let that N-word slip out again. Then and only then can we begin to be friends. I'm online trying to create a course like Excite Bike. And saw they overturn Roe verse wait overnight. Like women don't have a right to choose what they do with the lifelike. Then I heard Mary Miller say thank you for saving white life. Her people tried to cover it like it's an oversight, but it's noticeable and clear as day like it's an overbite. Mary's hate spews for fake Jewish cheers. Obi Trice, don't support me if you go into battles like Yorkies fight. Behold the spite, me hombre writes. He's a showman, a snowman, frozen the coldest heights. My condolences for these moments when my composure seems to be its lowest, and my demeanor appears to be meaner, bleak and ferocious. Cause what we did for this world to be treated like this atrocious. Marvel characters based off black gods, hypnosis. If you don't speak on El Kibulon murder, you condone it. No more is waiting, it's time to stand and take the atonement.
It's man creating atonement to resonate with God and the God particle. Are all laws and all laws articles of clothing I'm holding my John R. son. Mystified by different lies stating that we are not awesome. Apart from inflation and pandemics, we racing a plan destined to erase us from man's heaven on earth on the block. This plot was clandestine since birth. My girth is of Goliath, but I'm cunning like David. When it all don't add up, I'm the sum of my favors. I come from a flavor that runs from the blood of the braver, the ones that won't waver when God comes. What you gon' say, bruh? Did you fight the dark, providing the light? Is your heart colliding with spite? Did you bark without all of the bite? Did you talk with all of your might despite all of the judgment? My plight, strong and is pungent, your sight, wrong and repugnant. Uniting gods in abundance, my circumference is of that of Aldebaran. Got it from Archangel Michael, I call his helm Metatron. Stepping on the neck of Antares, don't disrespect what a star is. I promise I won't stop this till I saw this quantum colossus. I'm Mars in this war, y'all are just novice.
Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness. We are one with the sun. Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness. We are one with the sun. Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness. We are one with the sun.
That was Yamasani with War Room. Now, if you are an independent artist or spoken word poet or even an up-and-coming comedian looking for some exposure, then head over to blastmusic247.com and register for the free. But Blast is not just for the artists, it's for the fans too. So if you love great music like you just heard tonight and want to hear hundreds of more artists who's willing to share their music with you, then go ahead and register Blast Music247.com for free. The Blast Music 247.com, changing the industry one artist at a time. Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. So, now I know you have some, like I mentioned backstage, you got a Rolodex back there. So, I actually wrote something new as well. So
Okay.
I figured I'll break the ice unless you're ready to go.
Oh, I stay ready, so you ain't gotta get ready.
See, I love this.
Mhm.
I gotta pick with you. I know you definitely stay ready. You got a whole arsenal. Believe me. I think you got a bunker full of just ammo. And no, we're not talking about that kind of ammo. We're talking about literature, folks. Okay, we're talking about poetry. Um, but yeah, this one that I wrote, uh, it's actually attached to a sketch I did. Two anatomical hearts kissing. So the the drawing came to my mind first, and then I started having words shooting through my mind, and I'm just like, okay, wait, what do I do? Do I keep drawing, or do I, like, I even created a post like, what is this called? You know what I'm saying? So I stopped with the sketch, and then I just started writing. And then when I got to a certain point, then it was like, okay, go back to to the sketch. So I did this for about a week. So I just finished the poem last Friday, and the sketch I was done with on Wednesday of last week. So I wish I had it. I would have showed it, but it's on Facebook. So you get a chance later, check it out. It'll probably be as LV. She keeps reminding me. She said, "Well, since you're doing the EP, do a book version with your own illustrations. You don't got to find an illustrator." So I said, "Yeah, that'll work too." So, heart kissed. Have you ever had your heart kissed? For some, love is just a word used freely and sometimes recklessly, creating excuses or, codependency. If you've never experienced love by the world's or your own standards, you may not recognize the sweet, sweet sheer bliss of its tender kiss. It's not the type that makes you scream, I can't live without you. It's the type that says, I'm proud, I support, I love, I hear, I adore, I can't wait to get next to you. That same you that has grown tremendously, overcoming love's heartbreaking hurdles, dipping in and out the streets, spirit hanging low like your head staring at your feet, struggling against bouts of life with no peace. Self reflection has allowed evolution to take course within your life, doing the necessary work to get you right. Painful blindness no more, you now have sight. There's nothing you can miss. The Creator's greatest reward is having your heart kissed. Embraces you don't have to chase. The gaze that sets upon you the moment they see your face. Goosebumps, sensations, tracing, exploring your dimensions. Your personality isn't seen as a challenge because real love, egos have no space. That wow effect from recognizing alignment is what rewards your heart with enjoyment. Loving what you do brings forth the greatest gifts, and doing you allows you to one day experience your heart's kiss.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Yeah. So, just different things, taking in different stories. You know how the sisters do. We sit around, we talk. I do my best to make sure that it's not a male bashing session because I got love for y'all.
That's
Sometimes,
nice.
you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I find myself being the only one defending y'all in some of these circles. But, when you've had great examples and great experiences, regardless of the bad ones, you can't discount or discredit, those.
Yeah.
It's not a one face for all. You got to learn how to just keep the feelings attached to each separate situation. But We got such a long way to go with that, but there is hope for the lost. We have to keep that in mind. So, whichever way you would like to take us, sir, this is Shine Vibration, so this is your time to shine. So, do what we all know that you do best.
Oh, my time to shine on Shine Vibrations.
Indeed.
Um, so they tried to bury us. Didn't know we were seeds. Whole 6 feet deep, surprised to see my black fist sprout from the soil. They tried to drown us. Didn't know that we were fish. Ignorance is bliss. Tried dropping us on the mountaintop. Didn't know that we could fly. Lived a lie when faced with the truth. I mean, think about it. As the world turns, the sun ever really, really stop shining? Does success ever truly know defeat? We are the epitome of opportunity. Optimism incarnate, sonnet, Moses' staff, part in the Red Sea, a line in the sand, the power of prayer. They set me ablaze. Forgot I was a phoenix. You see, they are trying to kill us daily, but we just keep creating new ways to live. Branches extend toward the heavens. See me blossom, seeds that scatters the wind. We grow like weeds, like roses from concrete. We seek only light, but grow in darkness through stress, strain, and time, and pressure, and heat. We be diamonds. Reminds me of a shooting star. The reality is actually falling from the sky. Black man shot down in white tee, but we make a wish anyway.
Mm. Mm. How recent is that piece?
It's old.
It's old.
It's old but good.
Old but good, but
Only but gooding. We got to continue to persevere no matter,
yeah,
what
because
obstacles are placed before us. Embrace them, engage them, appreciate them. There's no courage without fear.
right.
It's impossible to grow muscle and get strong without lifting the obstacles placed before you.
That's right.
And so those obstacles are preparing you for what's next, the next level of your life. And I think we shy away from them instead of running into them wholeheartedly, ready to accept the challenge. Because again, like you go to the gym every week, lift these weights in order to get stronger, but in your life on a daily basis, you don't attack it with the same vigor. So when I see an obstacle or challenge, this is a workout. This is me getting ready for the next situation, the next level of my life, next plateau. And so I'm engaged in finding the solution.
Indeed. There's always a solution. Being a Taurus, I definitely know about charging through because that's everything that I've had to charge through and push through in my life. And, again, writing has really been the conduit to help me get through all those hurdles. That's been part of my exercise, my mental calisthenics. So that piece is definitely very present for today. I believe that is something that everybody can relate to and can actually use and apply to their life. At the time that you wrote that piece, was this like a reflection or just like something that you just felt that needed to go on, that you needed to write because of what was going on around that time?
All of the above.
Mm.
I think the beginning part, the first line, they tried to bury us, they knew they were seeds, is a popular quote that was floating around social media for a very long time. And just a thought of being buried, you're in the dark, right? Covered in dirt, uncertain of what happens next. But that's where every seed, every idea, every concept starts, in the dark. And you are watered and you sprout roots which grow down first. So nobody can't see you doing your thing yet. You're still just germinating in this dirty, dark soil. But you're there, you exist. And then with time and consistency, and the proper nurturing, then you finally break through the soil to some sunlight. People still don't notice you, don't realize how deep your roots run, how long you've been working in the community, how long you've been grinding with this thing, with your art, with your dream, with your hope, with your passion. And then, you start to grow a little bit more. Somebody notices you and gives you some water, some more sunlight. And then before you know it, your branches are sprouting. You get this bark, and you're strong and you're able to grow and stand on your own too, and create shade and comfort for other things to grow in your space.
That's right.
And your roots start to stretch out further and become thicker and harder. And it's the process, but it all started, in the dark with this concept, this idea, this seed. We don't always give ourselves, our arts, our energy, that same manifestation, that same power, that same, love that we would give a seed when growing a plant. Takes time. Takes time. And at every turn, there's going to be something different, attempting to stop you, to block your blessing, to trip you up. And it's about how you receive it. It's all about perception. And so each line in the poem talks about a different, tribulation that turning a negative into a positive. We all know the world is turning constantly, but it's dark, but the sun never stops shining.
Nope.
You just can't see it right now, but it's still there,
Right.
So maybe a dark day, but the sun is coming. That light, is right around the corner. So just reminding myself that you are where you're supposed to be. Just keep pushing forward. The light is coming. The day is coming. Your time is coming. And even with tragedy, we've been shot down every summer, as Black men falling from the sky. But as a people, as a culture, we continue to wish and dream and hope anyway.
And when we stop doing that, that's when we're really in trouble.
Yeah.
So, what else you have for us?
I've got all kind of things. What would you like?
You take us on a trip.
Man, so what I will say that I think is important in what I've been able to do and create. There's a lot of artists really work and network with the community. The school system is a very important part of what I do. And literacy is a huge component in every school system, in every city, in every state, in every country. If you can inspire a young person to read and write, you can always write your own check. And, the Poetry Project, as you mentioned, Trey worked with us when he was 16, 17 years old. It's really giving students a chance to find their voice, to validate who they are, but also to tie spoken word poetry to literacy, to communication, to validation, to essay writing for scholarships. Like all these things tie in. Similes, metaphors, third, fourth grade, you're learning these things. So as an artist and poet, to be able to link these ideas and concepts to hip hop, to music, to songwriting, to the fact that, Black Panther is a dope movie, but it was a script first, the comic book first. So if you can write, the writing is where the true power is. You see these artists out here rhyming on a stage, but they're rapping or singing songs, music they probably haven't even write themselves. So again, like writing is very, very powerful. And so often in the classrooms, we don't teach our students from that perspective. We're teaching them that writers write the words of sitcoms. Everyone wants to be an actor, but actors don't write their own lines. The writers do.
Nope.
So the writers go on strike, everything stops. So there's so much power in writing and creating, and I don't think we ever really get a chance to look at that in the school system. So part of my job is really reminding and showing them how, powerful their words can be. Everybody wants to get paid, but if you can write and create, that's where these sitcoms and movies derive from is the writers of the show. So that's a big part of my mission, is really focusing on young people and showing them how powerful writing can be.
Yeah, I definitely my sons definitely they been seeing me since the beginning, studying writing all the time. When I'm up late, they get up out of the bed. You know, the little ones come looking, trying to get in bed with you. I'm not in there because I'm in the living room and I'm up writing. So they're now 9 and 11, and we just finished our children's book, and they want to do the acting, but I had the same conversation with them. I said, you know, writers is where the checks is at. And they was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, you the things you want to do that you see on TV, someone had to write what they said. But if you write and act, then you get two checks, or
Yeah.
even bigger check." And the aha moment that kids have, is awesome. So, even my youngest son, he went to an open mic that I was hosting at Pizza Twist, over by Concord Mills Mall, and he just was like, "Mommy, I wrote this. Can I spit?" I said, "Sure, take the mic." So now he's either constantly drawing. Well, they're both constantly drawing all the time, but they take turns writing different things. So I noticed that that has changed and assisted them in school as well. And they got some folks around here in Charlotte, that. But one thing I noticed is that it's only at certain schools. Here, they do not stretch it across the board. So I have been in contact with some folks to see how we can change that, because it's a lot of funding out there for it, but it's the people that don't want to go to the schools that need it the most.
Right.
So we're gonna change that though. We're gonna make that happen. So
Nice.
but look, I'm ready for the next one.
Ready for the next one. So I just finished a book, also a children's book, um, and my daughter was the inspiration for it. And I've been asked forever, why I hadn't created a book of poetry. And one of the things that I talk to people about all the time is like, poets, sell a chat book or a book for $10, $15 with, 10, 20, 30 poems in it. But you can write a children's book, take one poem and add some art to it and sell that same book for $10, $15. Uh,
Hmm.
so this poem is another oldie but goodie, but it's also titled my new children's book. And yeah, how you turn one poem into a book is just as profitable, if not more, than having 30 poems in a book. So this art form came way before hip hop. You see, this thing, it plants street crops, won't stop for red octagons. This thing, I promise you, it sings songs. Prolongs life after death. You see, it moves in stealth and it improves the quality of your life. This thing flows through pipes to irrigate land and turn grass green. This thing stings the wrinkles out of my daily. Therefore, you've got to pay me, for this is poetry. I never realized the power of my voice in this world, the power of this ink merged with this paper, and each day I laugh at my countless attempts to make sense of this gift. Each day it lifts me higher. Lights my soul on fire, and I wire these words like a telegraph to anyone who will listen to some that won't. So please don't test me, because this is dangerous. This is like skin to me. It's like kin to me. It's a friend to me when all else seems lost. You see, I paved my way by showing way to the lost. And I promise you, it came before hip hop. This thing, it plants street crops, won't stop for octagons. This thing, I promise you, it sings songs. Belongs life after death. You see, it moves in stealth, and it improves the quality of your life. This thing flows through pipes to irrigate land and turn grass green. This thing sends the wrinkles out of my daily. Therefore, got to pay me, for this is poetry. It's that POETRY. It's poetry. POETRY. It's poetry. POETRY. It's poetry. Because poetry is life, and life is poetry.
This is definitely my favorite. As soon as you started, I was like, because I remember the post about the book, and as
Yeah.
soon as you started, I was trying to contain myself. But yeah, this is. I've heard you spit this one, and I believe this was the first one that I heard you spit, and that has stuck with me. So that is dope. That is now a children's book. That is very fitting. So you have this photo here. This is your radio station you have now that's available on demand.
Yeah. So the Poetry Cafe is open mic. We started in 2009 at the Triad Stage in Greensboro. It was a grant funded by a grant from the Arts Council, and we did the event 3 times that year. Um, got the grant for about 3 more years. We were able to do the show 3 times a year, 2009, 2012, before the grant expired. By the time 2012 rolled around, the Poetry Cafe was a pretty popular event, and we were able to roll it over into a monthly event. So we could do every single month. People willing to pay and buy tickets for. Um, and additionally, we had, amassed a pretty decent audience, and radio station 90.1 at A&T's campus decided that we should be a radio show. So started being able to take the artists, from the stage and put them onto radio live to do their poetry every single week. And we did that for 10 years. So it was a great way to market and advertise for the monthly show, having weekly artists on the stage, on the radio. Built a whole network of people listening in to us every week, and made artists want to come even more, because not only could you perform on a stage with a packed audience, but now you could also be heard over the airwaves, to new people and new audiences that may not have never heard you and weren't in the space on that particular day. So it was a dope opportunity. One of my students, so again, working with young people, graduated from A&T, took a job at Chapel Hill with WUNC, the radio station. And when they were looking for diverse new shows, she gave me a call. So again, all in who you know, the work that you put in, seeds you planted. And so after 10 years on 90.1, we became a syndicated radio show on WUNC. So we air every single Sunday on 7 different stations across the state of North Carolina. So we still run the monthly show, but now we have a platform that gives the opportunity to be statewide. So as you saw, Buxton, Welcome, North Carolina, Rocky Mount, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. So again, by being on our show, you get a chance to be heard all across the state, by being on our stage. So it's just been a phenomenal opportunity to really continue to grow the platform. And again, never knowing that poetry could be a radio show. It's not like it's happening every day. There's several podcasts, but to be on an NPR station, doing your show, getting paid for it, on 7-8 different stations is just like a dream come true.
That's right.
We've been doing a lot of groundwork, and we are now in negotiations in the show national next year.
Yeah. So you definitely showing that person that feels like they're the struggling artist, and how family will try to tell them, oh, you just need to give it up. Shout out to, look, there she go. She said, nice, Carla's sister. It's like, what's up, Suge? Yes, that is definitely amazing. Like, I'm all for the safe spaces for poets. It's at one time, I remember it was hard, because if you wasn't up there with the trap music or something, like, folks wasn't really feeling it. But now it's good to see that more and more people are actually looking for it, and they want to be in that type of environment. And so we definitely going to continue to get the shine that we are getting, and just bringing more exposure to the art. What other, you also sent me this one here.
Yeah, so we tour college campuses also. So we probably tour about 10 college campuses per semester. So the Poetry Cafe is also very affluent in student activities. And so college campuses are always looking for different ways to engage their students. And so every campus has open mic, but the Poetry Cafe obviously has a radio show and a platform and a history of, doing what we do. So when we send press kits to universities, we can say, hey, we are interested in coming to your campus and putting your students on stage, and having see what your campus got to offer. And so we've worked with probably about 10 schools in the state for the past 5 or 6 years. And so we just repeat a lot of the same schools every single semester. Just go back and provide spaces for them to create, to showcase, and to hone their skills. And so another way to create financial stability is work with universities. And yeah. So just leave no stone unturned. Public school system, university settings, corporate gigs, radio, um, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties,
I know
whatever.
that's right. I know that's right.
They write the
Weddings.
check. We're going to see what it is. So
That's
it's
right.
pretty dope. And the bigger you get, the more people know about you, the more opportunities you get, the more people call and request you to come out and do things. Having a brand like the Poetry Cafe under your belt definitely helps, solidify when you can show them what you have done, what you have been doing, what you're doing now,
That's right.
and people want to be a part of something that's already moving.
That's good. So let the folks know how they can find you. Any up and new things you have coming outside of the Poetry Cafe, any events. It's your time to run it down for the people.
So the Poetry Cafe is the thing. You know what I'm saying? Every single month we are hosting that show in Greensboro, North Carolina. And from that stage, so many things happen. As you saw, we have a plethora of stations that are playing, replaying, re-airing, the show from the stage. So definitely something you want to come through and check out if you're looking to get some, if you're looking to be seen and heard. We got YouTube, of course. We've got a Patreon, has some behind the scenes stuff going down. So if you want to support and see, the behind the scenes movement, check out the Patreon. We're on TikTok, Instagram, all under the Poetry Cafe. You Google it, it'll come up. So we're not hard to find. But we're just doing, our part every single day to make the world a better place.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate you for taking time because, like we all know, life be life, and I was just able to be home on time because I teleworked from home today, so I didn't have
Nice.
to do much movement. But it was a pleasure having an opportunity to see you again, and also hopefully when my schedule loosens up, some I'll be able to come back up because I haven't been to the borough in a while. So definitely the Poetry Cafe, run it down again so people know. I want to make sure that those that are on the platform listening on the other
Yeah, the
platform,
website is
yes.
thepoetrycafe.org. But
Mhm.
we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, we are on Patreon and TikTok. So anywhere you put in the Poetry Cafe, we will pop up. But the website always has the latest and greatest things we have going on. We have a show every single month. The radio show runs every single week. You can tune in on WNC.org every Sunday at 6 p.m. And next year, we will be a nationally syndicated radio show all across the country, uplifting and amplifying voices of artists from our community and beyond. So Poetry Cafe is doing dope shit, and we are going to continue to grow and push the platform to infinity and beyond, straight up Buzz Lightyear. So we are, continuing to grow every day.
Yes, and I am glad to be part of those that are witnessing. Uh, we got one more comment. Oh, Carla said it was a great interview. Of course, I love interview those that are prepared, and well seasoned.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. And then when you good people anyway, the energy is always good. So it was just flow. Like I tell folks, this ain't scripted. This is just energy. This is just a vibe. So if you enjoyed this, make sure that you follow the brother. Stay tuned to the Poetry Cafe. I've been in North Carolina, oh goodness, almost 20 years. So if I'm following, y'all should be following too. So until next Friday, y'all. Peace.
Peace.